what we'll be doing today, welcome everyone to today's section. So what we'll be doing today is how to create our test case, how to create our text. We have learned how to create our task on Azure DevOps. So today we'll be going through how to create our test case on Azure DevOps and how to run our tests on Azure DevOps, how to raise bugs on Azure DevOps as well. Right. So now, when stories are being committed into sprints, we all know that we've analyzed the requirements, right? So we've understood it. It has gone into sprints. The developer has started working on it. We do not wait for the developer to finish their job before we can start writing our test case, right? You need to start designing your test case. And if you're doing it on Azure, right, we'll walk through how to do it. So now, to write your test case on Azure, right? So let's take logo, for example, right? So let me look for another one. Let me use the footer, right? So let me use the footer, for example, right? So now, how do we write our test case? So let's say we are working on this particular PBI, right? The footer, right? So I want to write our test case. How do we do it? The first thing you do is to click on the ellipses. If you hover around these three ellipses, you will see that the work item action comes up, right? So that is when you start writing your test case. But obviously, do not forget that before you write your test case, you need to understand your requirements, right? You need to understand your requirements. So we'll click into it to read through user story and acceptance criteria. That will enable us. So as you can see, right. So as you can see, okay, so let me click on the footer and see if can you see it now? Can you see a new screen?
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
good.
It.
Okay, so let me start all over again. Right. So like I said, the last time we've learned on how to create our test case, create our task on Azure DevOps, right? So as I said before, that once stories has been committed into sprints, right? So you as a QA and the development team would, before that story is being committed into sprints, right? All of the BAs will have to read the stories. You as a QA will have to ask questions to ensure that you've understood the question, the acceptance criteria and the user story, and they all make sense, right? So once you have done that, the story has been committed into sprints. You do not wait for the developer to finish the development job before you start testing. So what you would do, some Azure DevOps board has been configured to automatically create your task for you, right? So if it has not been configured to automatically create your task for you, you will create your task. And creating tasks we have done. We've shown you how to create your tasks on your sprint board as well as on your main board, right? So today we'll be dealing on how to create your test. Write your test cases, execute your manual testing, raise bugs, right? And run your tests, right? So now let's assume that we are working on this particular story, which is the footer. This PBI is the footer, right? First, before you start writing your test case, you need to click on it and read the requirements and look at the mockup that is on it, right? And ensure it makes sense. And when you are writing your test case, you need to write your test case in accordance with what is on your user story, right? On and your acceptance criteria. So now you have to read it again, right? And it says, as a user of Prime, as a PrimeSoft user, I want to click on PrimeSoft website so I can view the features on the footer of PrimeSoft website, right? And it says, given that I am a PrimeSoft user, when I type in the PrimeSoft URL and I am redirected to PrimeSoft homepage and I navigate to the bottom of the homepage, then I should be able to view the footer. Additional information says the footer should have a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn icon and should be on the right side of the website. So this is the mock-up design, right? We'll go on the footer, right? So we can see the what Facebook, right? LinkedIn and Twitter, right? So we'll start writing our test case, right? Good. So you will now go back, you can close this and go back. So then to write your test case, how do you do it, right? You click on these three ellipses. If you hover around it, you see work item action, right? You click on it. Once you've clicked on it, you see this menu. this menu will pop up, right? You will click on add tests, right? You click on add tests, and then you write your scenario, right? Or this is called scenario, and we could also call it, right, test condition, or you could say it's the header or the title of your test that you're writing. So what is the title of our test that we're writing? We want to verify, right? We want to verify, right? The verify user can view, right? Verify user can view, right, social media icon on the footer of, right, on the footer of the page, on the footer of the website, right? That is what you click on enter. So once you've done that, you will notice a flag, something like a flag has popped up that has one test. You haven't written your test case inside, but what you've done is that you've written the header, what you want to verify, what you want to test. If you want to add additional one, you just, as soon as you click on enter, another one will come up. Let's say you have, because some tests you have both negative and positive scenarios. Some of them you will have to write different scenarios, right? You have up to 5, 6, 7, even up to 10 scenarios, depending on the nature of the acceptance criteria and the way you are designing your test case, right? So once you've done that, what you will do is that you click on it. Once you click on it, you can see when we're writing our test case on Azure, on Excel, we're adding the test case ID, right? So, but Azure has added a test case ID for us, which is 150. 150, you can see it's here, right, by default, right? So you can see verify user can view social media icon on the footer of the website. That is what we want to test, because the acceptance criteria says that we need to see social media icon on the footer, right? Right hand side. So now, what do we do, right? We'll come down here. We've seen you can add tags, but we're not adding tags at the moment. So it's your test case is on the design states, right? If you click on the drop down, you see design ready and close. So it's on the design stage, right? State, we want to design it, right? So now, so we can see your test, your steps, right? Your steps. This is the action, right? And you can see your expected results here. You can see the expected result. So this is where when you type your action, right? So now, like I said before, we use given, when, then. We use Jenkins syntax, and we know the reason why we use that, right? It supports behavioral driven development. So it makes it easier for stakeholders, those who are not technical, to understand what we are reading, what we are writing, right? And they give context to it. So now we'll start with giving, right? You just click on it. The moment you click on it, a step number will be assigned to it, and then you can see the action where you can say giving user, right, navigates to what? PrimeSoft websites. Right. So giving user navigate to PrimeSoft website. What are we expecting? What is our expected results? Right. So our expected results could be
PrimeSoft landing page.
Be careful with landing page, right? So we have home page and we have landing page. So be careful when you are using landing page, because sometimes marketing or an organization could send you a link. When you click on that link, where you will get to is a landing page. That landing page is different from home page. Note the difference between landing page and home page. They are not the same, right?
Okay.
Right. So once you navigate, when user navigate to PrimeSoft, what you expect, you've entered the URL that we've given, and where you will land yourself, where you see is what? The home page. So you can say home page is displayed. That is the expected result. Or you could also say user successfully viewed home page, or home page, right, is displayed. Home page is displayed, right? So note that you could write it any way you want. Solo, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
No, can we use the homepage should display?
Homepage should display.
Yeah, so it's hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's like, can we also use like maybe homepage should
display.
So we do not encourage you using should, right? We do not encourage using homepage should display. What you are putting your expected condition. Your expected condition is that homepage is displayed. Once you've gone on it, you are not saying should, right?
Yeah, I
You are
understand.
saying that
Because you're
is,
already testing it. It's
yes,
not that you're,
is.
it's
So
not that
yeah,
you're writing it for the future.
yeah. So because you've gone there, we are now looking at
Yeah.
it. You are looking at, is it displayed? If it's not displayed, you can say homepage user successfully viewed homepage. That is what once a user, you can focus on user. You can say, given a user navigate to a website, when you're a user, what do you expect to do? You should successfully view the homepage, right? So depending on how you want to, or you can say homepage is successfully displayed. That is what you want. Okay, let's use successful. Homepage is successfully fully displayed, or homepage is displayed. They are all correct, right? So the next one is once you're on the website, you view the homepage. What do you want to do? Your action. You want to scroll to the bottom, to the footer, not bottom. You want to scroll to the footer, right? So then you'll now use your action. When user scroll to the footer of the homepage, right? So what do you expect to see when you scroll? What is your expected result when you scroll down, when you perform a scroll on the website to the footer?
The expected result is the Twitter, Facebook. Users should see the website.
So when you perform a scroll to the footer, you are expecting to see what? The footer. You are expecting the footer to be displayed, right? Right? Footer or user, when user successfully, right, viewed the footer of the website. Right. So when you are now viewing the website, the next thing when you are now viewing the footer, the next thing the acceptance criteria want you to have check out is the social media link, right? And that social media link includes, so remember that you can save but not close. You can save this, right? And then you can always go back and see. Sorry? You can always go back. I've saved. Save changes. So you can always go back and see what the requirement is. The requirement is then I should be able to view the footer when you view the footer, and the footer should have a Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn icon on the right hand side. So what you are doing is that what user should view a Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn icon on the right hand side of the website, right? So you can copy it, like I said, you can always copy and then go and edit it yourself. So I've copied it, right? And I want to go back to my test case, right? You can come back here and then click on it. And then, so you can now start your then user, right? You can say, you can remove should and put must, right? Then user must view Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn icon. You can now, that's why I told you that as a QA, you need to know how to write your test case to be concise, right? And easy to understand. Then user must view Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn icon on, right? So on, where is it now coming as? So yeah, on the right, on the right side of the website, but it should be on the footer, right? So on the right hand, it should be on the right. Okay. And the icon, let me move this back. So then user must view Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn icon on the right side of the website. So this was not updated the last time, right? But if you read at the acceptance criteria, it says that it should be on the footer and it should be on the right hand side, right? So, but for you as a tester, you could make it precise, right? You could say user must view Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn icon on the right hand side, right hand side of right hand side, right hand side of the website footer, or on the right hand side of the right footer of the website. Or you can just remove that on the footer because obviously it's on the website. There's no need duplicating that. So now, then user must view Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn icon on the right hand side of the footer, right? On the right hand side of the footer, right? So what is your expected result? Your expected result, what is it?
User successfully
User
viewed
successfully
Facebook, Twitter, and
viewed.
LinkedIn.
You can just copy it. Viewed, right? That's correct. Viewed Facebook, Twitter. You can just copy it, right? And just paste, right? So user successfully viewed, right? So you can now save and close, right? So you can see you've added your test. That is how to write your test case. That is how to write your test case on Azure DevOps. You successfully written your test case. If you open it again, you can see your test case here, right? You can see your test case. You can see all the tests, right? You can see all the tests here. So we do not encourage you to put your URL here, right? Do you know why? If you put your URL here and if the URL changes, that means you have to go over and over again to all the test case you've written and change your URL. So you will see on some templates, if you've done your research, you see some of them giving you a navigate to, they will put the URL. What happens if the URL changes and you've written up to 100 test case?
Wow.
Yes, so that's why we do not encourage you putting your URL here, right? So some add a shared parameter set, convert a shared parameter. So this, you're not adding a shared parameter in any sets here. So look at this one, right? So some organization, like some of these test management tool will have a column where you can add your test data. So you can add your URL on your test data, right? So that is it. So what do we want to do next? Do you have any question on this one before we run our test? Because I'm going to demo how to run our test. Do you have any question?
No, it's clear.
It's clear. Now I want us to run the test. Right. So after creating your test case and developer has record that by the time you start creating your test case, so we are working on the footer, you need to go on your sprint, right? And move your footer and move the footer, the test case to in progress. It's already in progress. Can you see it's already in progress? So you record that you need to move it in progress. Right. So now we want to run our test. So we've written this test case and we want to run it. Right. How do we run it? So now, and it has to be in QA doing because you're currently working on it. Right. So now how do we run our test? How we run our test is you click on these three ellipses. No. So how do we run our test? We'll click on the test, right? Can you see? Can you see these three ellipses here? So if you do not hover on it, you won't see it. So you need to know exactly where it is for you to be able to hover on it, right? You need to know exactly where it is. You need to know that it will be at the bottom right-hand side. So once you hover on it, you will see. Can you see? If I stop hovering on it, I won't see that three ellipses. If I hover on it, I will see it. So once I hover on it, it comes out. I click on it. So you can see, run your test, edit your test title, and every other one. So what you do is you click on run your test. So if I start running my test, do you see what comes up? Right. So these are my tests that I'm running, right? So what I will do, I can minimize this, right? Okay. So Another thing I will have to do is that you need to go and open your testing environment, the website that you are testing, the application you are testing, right? So let me open the application we should be testing. All right, just bear with me while I get that up. So let me copy the URL. Okay. Is anyone able to send it to the chat as soon as possible? If that's okay. Is anyone able to send it on the chat? The test URL.
What do you? Oh, okay.
Tested environment. Testing environment. Okay. Any log from anyone? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes. So this is the website, right? So we want to start testing, right? So what you will do is you open the website. You can see if you go on the footer, nothing else is there, right? So you can see on the about us, nothing is there. So so if you see on the training, nothing is there, right? So the register is not clickable. Email, okay, nothing. Okay, brings you to web, but yeah. So let's talk. Yes, but nothing is on it. Okay, so what we'll do is for the person testing this, I know you've been assigned. So what you will test, I will not test it for you, but I will use it for so that you come and test it. I will not tell you if there's a bug or not. I'll not tell you if there's a bug or not. So yes, because I want you to do it yourself. Right. So now what do we do? Right. So once you are testing your environment, right? So the first thing we'll do is that giving you is a navigator URL. So you will come here, like I said, you've copied the link, right? You've copied the link, I'll close this. So I open a tab and enter my URL and enter. So I'm able to, right, come to the website, right? That means my, okay, did I close it? Okay, let me run it again. It seems I did. No, shouldn't be closed. Yeah. So this is it. So I giving user navigate to PrimeSoft, right? Website. I'll click it, mark it as good, right? So then the next step is when user of someone needs to mute himself. All right. So the next thing we'll do is what? So we'll navigate to the website. So the next thing we need to do is when user scroll to the footer of the website, right? So we'll come to the website and scroll to the footer, right? So we'll go back and I will make all these ones to pass, right? So I'll go back and then click on it, right? So then the next, because I was able to scroll to the footer and I can see the footer. So the next one is when user view Facebook, then so user must view Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So this is Facebook, this is Twitter, right? And this is LinkedIn icon, right? And it's on the right hand side, right? Then I can mark this as passed. So once I have done that, I'll come here, click on this one as well, pass it, and come here, click on save and close. But before I do that, I need to get my screenshots. I need to get evidence that I actually came to this website and did it. So what I would do is I would, because I want it to be, so what I would do is I will come here, copy it, open it on a new tab, right? So I'll come here, open it on not a new tab, a new window, right? So I can have it side by side. So once I've opened this on a new window, I can put it side by side, and then I can come on this one and then put it side by side as well, right? So I want to get screenshots, right? I can put this side by side and then I can now come and get my screenshots, right? So you can see I am now taking snapshot of it, right? So I've taken snapshot of it with everything passed. So once I have done that, right? So I
How did you take this snapshot? Sorry
oh,
to cut you.
okay, so I used a shortcut. So the shortcut to use, you can always, well, let me tell you how to do it. You can always come to snipping 2, right? So everywhere you have snipping 2, can you see it? Snipping 2.
Sleepy.
Yeah, snipping 2. Click on snipping 2, snipping 2 will open, right? Once snipping 2 is opened, you click on plus. Once you click on plus, that is another one, right? So you can now, can you see that plus icon will come out? So you can now come here and then drag it, right? Once you've dragged it to cover all the areas you want to snip to, right? You can now leave it and you can see it comes up, right? So now you can now use this, right? This ball pen to circle with maybe a red or a green to circle the option, the ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can circle it to show that you've seen it.
I'm not seeing what you are demonstrating, but
Yeah. Can anyone else see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah. Can you see it now, Joshua? Can you see what I'm doing now, Joshua?
yes, I'm seeing it now.
Okay, thank
But you are saying something about sleeping too. So I didn't get where you were pointing then.
you. Okay, so I said, can you see my screen underneath here? So snipping to, if you can't find it, you come to
Yes,
this
I'm seeing
search.
it now.
Yeah, you come here, search for snipping to. You will see snipping to. Click on it. Once you open it, you see a plus sign. Can you see the plus sign, which means new screenshot? Right? Can you see that?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Yeah, so once you have that, you can now use it. A plus
Okay.
sign will come out. You use it to drag, cover all the
Okay. You
areas you want
highlight
to
it.
copy. Yeah, you drag it to cover all the areas, right? You want to copy. Once you do that, you will leave it, all right? So you will see it pop up like this, right? And then you can now highlight the area you want to highlight and then click on this button, which is copy, right? So once you've done that, you've copied, right? You can close the snipping tool. Then you can now come here, save and close. Remember to save and close. Save and close. You've saved and closed. Let me minimize this. And then I go back to the story I was testing. Can you see? It's showing that one has passed, right? It's showing that my test has passed. Can you see the green tick and one test passed? Can you see that? Right? So once you've done that, you open this again and then come to the comment discussion, comment section, yeah, this should have,
Yeah.
yeah. So once you come here, you come to the comment section and then paste your screenshots, right? Paste your screenshots. Can you see? Paste your screenshots and save. So once you've saved it, so this is an evidence that you've run your test and it has passed. Can you see that you've run your test, everything has passed? You can see you saw the Facebook, you saw the Twitter, and you saw
Twitter.
the Instagram, yeah, icon, right? So the expected result has made the actual result. So this your test has passed. So once that has happened, what you will do is you move this to QA done. You move it to what? QA done, right? You move it to QA done, and then you can come back to the sprint and move your, can you see, because I've closed a ticket, we've closed, you can see the velocity chart is going up. So, right, you can see because of this task that has been closed, you can now go and move yours, but I will not move it because you haven't done it. You need
Oh,
to do
I've
it.
not done it yet.
Yeah, you need to do it again. So let's go back to our board. Right. So now let's say we want to run, take
Sorry, did you
notes.
assign that to yourself? Because I can see Salome's name there.
So
Yeah.
Salome's name, because she's the BA that did it. So you can always change it and assign it to yourself. You can see Vincent has changed his own, right?
I
Vincent
mean,
has
the one,
changed.
okay, the one you did now.
So the
Salome's
one
name
I
is still
did,
there.
yes, you need to change it to your own name. Shade.
Not for me. That one is not my
Yeah, I
task.
thought it's yours, the footer.
No, I wanted you to do. Let's talk.
Okay. So we'll
I don't
assign it,
know
we'll
who
leave it to
was
someone.
that.
So we'll move it back, right? So once you are here, you are done with your job, right? But this is a demo section, right? So you
Yeah.
don't move it back once you're done, right? So I want to move it back because I want to run it again and fail it. And take note, you do not run it again and fail it when you have passed it to, right?
Yeah.
So if you passed and everything is passed, so that's fine, right? So, but the reason why I want to run it again is because I want to show you how to raise bug when your test has not passed, right?
Yes.
So we'll run this again. And like I said to you before, you want to run your test, you've written your test case, you come and click on the flags. So because some of you will come and will not see their text. It will be like this. You'll be looking for your test, right? So if you come, you didn't see it, you click on the flags and the test will come out. And once it pops out, you over here, you will see the three dot. You click on it, click on run test, right? So you will start. So let's say you've navigated to URL as usual, right? So let's say you've entered the URL and you're able to navigate to the home page. You click on this, right? And you've scrolled down. So let's scroll down, and you scroll down, right? You pass it and you've come to the footer, right? And you've come to the footer and you can only see Twitter and Facebook, but you can't see. Know that this is an instance, right? And you're not able to see Facebook icon. That means it's a bug, right?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Facebook icon is not there. That means it's a bug, right? So what you will do is you'll come here and fill it, right? So once you filled it, it will now want you to give a comment, right? This comment is where you will now write your actual result, once what you actually saw, right? So you can, what example of what you can see, remember that the instance we are using is that we went there and we didn't see Facebook, right? The only thing we saw is Twitter and LinkedIn, right? So
Yeah.
you can now say only Twitter, right? And LinkedIn icon, right, is visible on the footer of the web site, right? So you can put full stop. You can also go ahead to say Facebook icon, right, is not visible on the footer, right? So this is what you saw. So what you saw is just only Twitter and Facebook icon, right? So you didn't see Facebook, but the Facebook was meant to be there. That's why you failed it, right? So now you will do the same thing again, right? Before you save, you have to create a bug. And how do you create a bug? So now, before you create a bug, you need to you've added your actual result, right? So you need to still get the snipping tool, get the website open again, right? You can minimize it. You can always take a full screenshot, right? You can always take a screenshot of the full page. So now we are assuming that we can't find this Facebook, right? So you take screenshots. I'm using shortcut, sorry. So you take screenshots. Well, I've told you how to do that. You take screenshots. Once you've taken the screenshots, let me come here and do it again. So once you've taken it, couldn't say screenshots. Okay. So once you've taken it, you can now come here, use the symbol point. So here, we want to clean this one because we have assumed that it's not there, right?
Not there, yeah.
Yeah. So just for the purpose of our training.
Training.
So let me use this one. Yeah. We assume it's not here. So these are the only thing we can see, right? So we circle the one that we can see, right? So now you can now copy. Once you've copied it, right? So you can now create a bug. look at what I'm doing. You can now click on create bug, right? You click on this one, create bug. So as you can see, it has generated repro step for us, right? It has generated repro step for us. So the priority, the severity, if they are still the same, right? You keep them. Configuration, test configuration, which is window, right? So we need to add our evidence, right? So you add evidence, which is screenshots, right? So yeah, the status is new. Remember, when you find a bug, what is the status? You can see the status is new, right? So some organization will want you to assign it to a developer that do it. Some organization wouldn't want you to assign it to anyone, so that any developer can just pick it up, right? So now the next thing you need to add is your title, right? And what is our title? What is our title? So our title is Facebook icon is not visible on the footer, right? Facebook icon is not, right, visible on the footer, right? So Facebook icon is not visible on the footer, and this is the screenshots. So you can add the acceptance criteria if you want, right? It's not mandatory. So yeah, that's it. You can add system information. Under system information, you can add, okay, your Windows is there already. Your window is there. You can add your browser. Oh, you can add your browser. One second. You can add your browser. So your browser is where you are testing it. Your browser could be Chrome, right? So we already have Windows 10. So you can add any other information you want to add, right? So let me put this as capital letter. So this shows that you run it on browser. You can put Edge, you can put any browser you've run it on, right? So after that, is there anything I'm missing? No. So after that, you would click on what? Save and close. So you've saved and closed that one. You will now come here and save and close again, right? So once you've done that, you can see that the test has been is failed now, right? And a bug has been created, right? So if you open this, you can see the bug tickets here. So let's look at where the bug ticket is. So let's open this. Yeah, so you can see the bug tickets. You can see the bug ticket is in new. This is the bug ticket, right? So the developer will pick it up and test it, right? Once the developer has tested it, has created it, and they find out that it's a bug, it goes through the bug life cycle, right? So once they have gone through the bug life cycle and it's been fixed, you run your test again. Once it's passed, you will pass it, and that is done. You move it to done, right? So any question on that? We've gone through how to create our tests and our test case. We've gone through how to run our test, and we've also gone through how to create bugs. Any other question?
No, I want to ask a question, please.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I want to ask in the environment.
Yeah.
I hope we can add like the network provider you use in testing, the hardware, like the type of system you're testing from, whether you like the hardware, whether you're using is it your HP laptop or you're testing um from your is it iPhone, what's it called again? Apple and all this. Because I believe some of these things can actually affect the appearance or something.
Yeah, yes. So
Should we add it to the environment, please?
So the network provider is not necessary, right? You will not add your network provider. Let's say you are working in the office. What is the network provider you want to add? Right? Because sometimes you go to the office, so you do not add your network provider, even when you are working at home. Network provider is not important, right? So the one that I agree with you can add is your system. But like for this one, you can see it has already automatically gotten our system that I'm using Windows. I'm using a Windows device, right? Yes, it got that I'm using a Windows device and it's a Windows 10, which is the version of my window. So if you are doing If you are doing, let's say you are doing cross-browser testing, you want to test this on different browser, you need to write the name of all those browsers. If you're doing a cross-device testing, you are testing it on different devices. If it fails on any device, you need to put the device. Let's say you want to test this on your desktop application, you want to test it on your Apple, your MacBook, and you want to test it on your Android phone, and then tablets and your iOS, right? So if it fails on any of those, right, you need to put all of them, the name of all those devices that you've tested it on, and it fails. Did I answer your question, Vincent?
Okay, that's okay. Okay.
All right, you're welcome. So, any other question? Any other question? If we do not have any other question, I believe that we all understood it and we'll be able to write our test case on Azure, run our test and raise bug.